Welcome back to all our friends, family, and yes, even our foes. To the Foxx Den Sports Podcast, where Todd and his sports-passionate kids are ready to bring you the latest updates and insights on all things sports. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. I am your host, Todd, the Podfather. We're here to do our annual NFL predictions tonight. Really looking forward to that one. I've got with us my oldest son, Kellen, who's going to try to make the Commanders a Super Bowl contender, try to make sure everybody understands that. And we got the Den's enforcer, Banche, McDonald. He's here to remind us why Jerry Jones is a knucklehead. But first, speaking of Jerry Jones, there's two things I want to talk about real quick before we get into it. Micah Parsons trade. Wow. At least they got 2 first-rounders, and they got a pretty good lineman regardless. What were your thoughts when you saw the trade finally happen?
I'm actually glad as a Cowboys fan. I think Micah Parsons was a little bit of a problem in the locker room. Apparently the organization did not like him, didn't care to sign him, and then, hey, we weren't going to be any good this year anyways. We'd be lucky to make the playoffs. So you might as well start building for the future right now and get something out of somebody like that. And I don't know. I hope this maybe turns into the old Herschel Walker trade from years past, something like that, because if we nail it right, then, I think the bad part is it's going to be beyond our Dak Prescott years, and so we're going to have to move on with another quarterback. So I'm not sure the timing's right there, but I mean, then again, Micah Parsons is one of the top 5 defensive players in the league, so it's kind of hard to trade away maybe a future Hall of Famer, but it apparently wasn't going to work, and I don't think he's worth $47 million.
No, not at all. Not at all. Kellen, what are your thoughts? Kenny Clark was the guy. Kenny Clark is who he was traded for. Let's do first.
It is wild because I think the Packers are going to be pretty good, so adding that piece to their defense could be nice for them. It was just kind of out of nowhere, I feel like, just randomly in the middle of the afternoon. But if they can, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a little rough this year. But if they can nail those picks, like Clay said, they could set themselves up really well for the future if they use those picks wisely. So we shall see. It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds now.
Well, I mean, I've got mixed emotions just because of the fact that I just think Jerry's such a knucklehead. However, I understand the trade because to Clay's point, he's not worth that money. They can't spend that much money on 3 different players. So if you're going to spend it, you're spending it on CD and you're spending it on Dak, which again, my personal opinion, they're never going to win a Super Bowl with Dak. So it doesn't matter. I mean, I would get rid of him right now too. I would do everything I can to try to get into the possibly the Arch Manning sweepstakes or whoever the next big quarterback might be, but I just don't think that regardless, they got 2 first-round draft picks. They got a hit on them. Those will most likely will be later draft picks. And I told Kellen this earlier. I mean, Micah Parsons is going to get hurt. He does every single year. He's got a history of being hurt. He's going to get hurt again, and it just depends on how many games he's going to miss. And whenever you're getting paid that amount of money, you can't really miss it. And I don't think my personal opinion, this is something I believe. I don't think they like the fact that he's got his own podcast and he talks a lot and all that kind of stuff. So they did what they thought was right, is what it is. But that kind of leads me into, we watched the Netflix documentary. And Clay, did you watch the whole thing as well?
Correct.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts? Tell me your thoughts on it, and I'll ask some questions. Go ahead.
The series, I thought it was really good. I mean, I heard there's probably about 50% of it I've heard before or new things, but I thought it was very well done. I thought it was pretty interesting how they just went through the 90s really slow and, took Michael Irvin was basically one episode. Barry Switzer was basically one episode. Troy Aikman had one episode. Emmett had an episode. And then, of course, Jerry was intertwined with all of them. And then right at the end, they just went basically, oh, yeah, we didn't do anything for several years. and here we are in 2025. And so that's kind of what the last episode was like. But so,
Right.
anyways, I thought it was good. Some of the stories, especially about them getting in trouble and the White House, I had never really heard that much of that story about all the things. I'd heard of it, but I didn't really get what all happened with Michael Irvin and everything. So it was interesting that still a lot of people blame things on Barry Switzer, which, in Oklahoma, he's God, but he's basically said, why would this be on my fault? I mean, I'm not going to take the blame for this. You're not going to put this on me. And, but I did like the fact that he did come and say the only regret he has is his relationship with Troy. And so I thought the overall, It was just good stories. It's fun when it's a team that you follow. I was kind of wanting to watch the SEC Unfiltered, but apparently OU opted out of that, so I'm not going to even watch that. But anyways, good stuff, I thought.
I agree, Kellen. What were your thoughts? Because you're a Colts fan, but you've always said that when you think of the Cowboys quarterback, it's always been Aikman to you.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously I was young, but I was born right before the end of his career. So as a kid, I always thought of him as the Cowboys quarterback. We had little ornaments of him on the Christmas tree and random little pieces. So to watch all that was pretty fun. I loved like just the 90s film and all that, because it was just the vibe of football was just different back then. And I liked it, just watching the clips of the old games. I've never seen them that clear, because when you look them up on YouTube, it looks like I can't even see what's going on. So watching all that was great. I don't know. I loved it. It really sealed the deal for how much I think Jerry Jones is an idiot, and has his hands in too much over there. But nevertheless, I enjoyed watching it. It was a lot of fun.
All right, well, I'll tell you my thoughts on the whole thing. I personally liked it. I liked it a lot. Dallas Cowboys. I look at it as Jerry Jones he's got a big ego. We all knew that, and we all know that. I think he's a brilliant businessman. NFL owners went from millionaires to billionaires because of his vision and the way he did things.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the Maverick piece of it, of him being a huge Maverick. I remember watching that Monday night game, when he walked out with Phil Knight, and Al Michaels says, hey, this Jerry Jones is elected to be this the time that he's going to, that they're striking a deal, and it's going to send. I remember the words shockwaves throughout the NFL. So I remember all that, and he was right to do that, because they were all doing this little collective bargaining, and where they all, got basically the same amount. I mean, he was the top team in football. So regardless,
we were selling 25% of the jerseys and getting the same as everybody else. Yeah.
Right. So that's the parts that I agree with him on. I don't agree at all. Like, he had nothing to do other than maybe saying okay to the Herschel Walker trade. That's all Jimmy. So Jimmy, here's the way I look at it. I feel like it made Jerry look worse to me. I mean, brilliant for all this other stuff, but as an owner of an NFL team, I think he looks worse to me. I think Jimmy looks fantastic from this thing. I think Jimmy was incredible. I knew it at the time that he was the guy who was calling all the shots. I just wish he didn't have such an ego as well, to where he could have just said, hey, whatever, let him do whatever he wants to do. I remember all of that. I remember, Jerry bringing in, I think it was a king of another country, and just barging in to the locker room, and then Jimmy just staring him down. Jimmy didn't like it. I remember all those stories. I think Barry Switzer came out really well, in my opinion. I think he looked good out of this thing. I think that he's in a no-win situation. And to your point, yeah, I mean, don't pin it on him. Where I didn't care for him personally, like him, and I remember this being this way. He felt like they were grown men, which he should have, and they should be able to do whatever they want, but they can't not practice and then just show up to the games on Saturday or Sunday. I mean, I think that was because under Jimmy, that stuff wouldn't have happened. Some of that stuff wouldn't have happened. Like the White House, I remember all of that. And I remember Michael getting in trouble. I remember Troy being the only player that went to see him. I didn't know that he told everybody not to be there. I just figured Troy was the only one that wanted to come. Now it all makes sense, because I'm sure Emmett wanted to come. But regardless, Troy to me seemed bitter, seemed very frustrated still. And I'm like, dude, get over it. I mean, it's over. Switzer was unfortunately, I think Switzer should have retired after the Super Bowl win. I think that Switzer's style was obviously much different than Jimmy's, and I think Jimmy's more of a tactician and just a better overall talent evaluator. And I just think that Switzer, NFL was just a little bit big for him. But then again, he walks into this gig and there's all these coaches. He doesn't have any chance to hire any of them. Not that I'm not saying he would have hired better ones because they had some really good coaches, but there's all these coaches, which frustrated me hearing that, there was talk behind his back, the Butch Davises, and they said that the Joe Avizano, whatever. I don't think he would have ripped on him, but what do I know? But regardless, that's how I felt like it looked. It made me just think this guy screwed up everything. And he told the story about how his wife was laying in bed and said, you just can't get over it, can you? Or you can't stop. And he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, you won the Super Bowl and you got rid of the coach. Like you just can't stop. So, but regardless, Jerry's the owner. He can do whatever he wants. I don't like the fact that he has podcast and he has talks with the media after game. I think he needs to lay low, but he's not going to, and it's not going to happen. Steven's not going to do it. Steven's going to be the exact same way when he takes over. But I will tell you, we talked about the Parsons trade real quick. I do have my Brett Favre jersey on. Got Staubach over here that can't fit again. Maybe time to change allegiances. I don't know. I've said that for years, and I just whatever. Cannot pull the trigger. All right, enough with that for the first 10 minutes or so. Got to get my daggum glasses on to see. We are going to go to let everybody know. We're going to start on the AFC side. We're going to go west to east. So that's how we're going to do it. We're going to talk about the division, what we think the records are going to be for each team, and who's going to win each division. But we're going to go through the West first, with the Chiefs and the Broncos and all those guys. Kellen will go, Clay will go, then I'll go, then we'll go to the AFC South. Go at it. You're up, dog.
All righty, for AFC West, I have the Raiders at the bottom, 4-13, going 0-6 in the division. I just don't think they're set up for success, and they're in one of the better divisions. So that's just not great. I have the Chargers going 9-8. I think they're just going to be all right. I think they just need a couple more pieces. The Broncos going 11-6. I think with Sean Payton and Bo Nix, they're going to be looking pretty good. And obviously, got the Chiefs going 14-3. I hope they lose more than that, but it's hard to count. It's really hard to pick them to lose. I got them going 6-0 in the division.
All righty, so I'm going to go. I'll start with the Raiders. Have the Raiders going 3-14. I have the the Chargers. The Chargers are going to improve a little bit this year. I'm going to go 9-7. I have the Broncos going 9-7, and I have the Chiefs going 11-5, with the Chiefs winning that division.
16-game schedule, but that's okay. Or 17-game schedule, but you said 16.
Oh, yeah. 12-5. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Well, I've got the Raiders going 7-10. I think that they're not going to be great. They're going to be stinkers. I think it's better chance that they go 5 or 6 wins than they go 8 or 9 wins. I think Geno Smith and Pete Carroll being there, I think will help solidify some stuff. I don't think Geno's the great one. Heck no. But I think they're going to be better. It's a rebuilding year, and they just don't have enough firepower. I think both the Broncos and Chargers will both be 11-6. I think that Denver will finally get back into the playoffs. And then I think the Chargers in year number 2 with Harbaugh, I think they're going to be a lot better shape. And I have the Chiefs at 12-5, 4-2 in the division. Mahomes is still going to keep them there. And again, with all these predictions that we're making, remember the season hasn't started yet, and we're going at it as if there's no injuries. So, and everybody knows an injury to any one of these major players will obviously that'll shift how things go. Let's go to the AFC South.
All right, I have the Titans going 3-14. I I think Cam Ward could be decent, but he's just not on a great team. I don't think he has a whole lot of room to succeed. It's going to be kind of a Bryce Young situation. Then I have the Colts not doing much better at 4-13. I don't think we're going to be any good at all. And I have the Texans and the Jaguars both going 9-8, but Jaguars will be 3-3 in the division, and Texans 5-1 in the division, so that'll edge them out to number one in the South.
All righty. So I have the Titans also going 3-14. The going to go with the Colts at 5-12, and the Jags at 6-11. A little bit of improvement this year, but because they do have Liam Cohen, but still just not a big fan of Trevor Lawrence. And I have the Texans, probably the best team and probably the worst division, going 11-6. So not a great division winner, but the best of those four for sure.
I have the Colts at 5-12, going 2-4. Again, they're rebuilding. They don't. Anytime you have a team that doesn't have a quarterback, a true quarterback, they don't know who it's going to be, and that just it's just nothing but problems. Titans, I actually have it 6-11. I believe they'll start finding some identity at some point with Cam Ward. I really do hope he's successful. But what's going to happen is Brian Callahan's going to get fired after this year, and then he's going to have to get on a second head coach. He's just one of those teams that's just not ever going to get it. The Jaguars, I have at 6-11 as well. I think there's going to be some regression with this team. They're consistently just off the chain. Trevor Lawrence is going to struggle again, and we'll see how that goes after that. Texans 9-8. I have them 6-0 in the division. So think about that. I have them 6-0. They're going to be 3-8 against everybody else. I think Stroud helps carry them. They're going to be perfect in the division, and they're going to obviously get in the playoffs because they win the division. Let us go to the AFC North.
All right, I've got the Browns going 5-12. I think they'll be okay. Not that that's really a great record, but I just think their quarterback situation and the confusion. We know Joe Flacco is not going to do anything crazy, and then it's going to be a toss-up every week of Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. So I just don't think they're going to do too much. I have the Steelers going 6-11. I say this every year, but I think Tomlin will finally not go 50% or better on a season. I think Aaron Rodgers is just too old at this point and too coming off that injury a couple of years ago. I just don't think he's going to ever be what he was. Then I have the Bengals going 12-5 and the Ravens going 15-2. I think they have a really strong regular season.
Alrighty, I have the Browns going 5-12. I have the Steelers going 9-7, just because Tomlin had never had that losing record. We'll see they'd be 9-8. So sorry, 9-8 on that. I'm still keep forgetting they added that game.
I need to add another one, make it 18. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and then I have the Bengals at 12-5. I think they're going to be pretty good. I think signing Hendrickson is a huge deal for the Bengals. I think their defense is just going to be better. Still not the greatest, but I think they're going to have the best offense in the league this year. But I have the Ravens winning the division at 13-4.
All right, so I've got Cleveland at 7-10, and the reason why, I think they've got talent all over the place except for the quarterback position. I do think if Flacco plays a lot this season, I think they've got a better shot at winning 7 games. Not that he's great, but he's more poised and he's got more experience than any of the other quarterbacks. Stefanski's not a terrible coach. I'm not a fan because of how he treated Baker, but he's not a terrible coach, and they still got a decent defense, and they got a decent offensive line. Steelers, I have 9-8. I think Tomlin will keep it going, and the reason why is because of Aaron Rodgers. Can they keep him upright? Can he stay healthy? They have no running game, however. Their offensive line is kind of shaky, but they've still got the defense. They added some receivers for him. We'll see, but I think 9-8 is what the Steelers will be. I think Cincinnati Bengals 11-6. They're going to have to outscore a lot of people because their defense stinks. Even though they got Hendrickson signed back with them, he's one of the only guys they have on defense. Burrow, he's got to stay healthy, but I think this offense will be back in rhythm. To Kellen's point, he's got to start early, start going at it, and if he can do that, sky's the limits. I got the Ravens 12-5. Lamar leads them the whole season as well. Again, they're just good all the way all around. They're good. They're well coached. They also play Buffalo and Kansas City in the regular season, I believe, this year. So that's tough. But I have them at 12-5. Let's go back now to the AFC East.
All right, AFC East. I have Jets going 5-12. They're just not a winning culture team over there. I just don't see them doing much. Dolphins, I've got 6-11. I think Mike McDaniels is done after this year. I think Tua is probably done after this year, at least as a starting quarterback, unless he goes somewhere else to potentially start. Of the Patriots going 9-8, I think they're going to see some steady improvements, especially with Vrabel over there. I'm personally a fan of Drake May. I think he could have a bright future. And then I've got the Bills going 13-4, 5-1 in the division.
All righty. I start out with the Dolphins going 4-13. Just not a fan of them this year. I mean, Tua probably going to get hurt. He seems to get hurt every year. They got some players, Devin Achane, Waddle, good players, but I just kind of like, I'm with Kellen. It's probably done for them, for McDaniel. I'm going to go with the Patriots at 5-12. I do see some improvement, but I just don't see enough. I think they're a year away from probably, I could see them in 2 years making the playoffs. So that might be a little bit low. They might could get 6 or 7 wins, but the Jets, I think, are actually going to be a lot better this year than they have been. So I'm going to go 8-9 with them. And then the Bills, I'm going 13-4.
All right, well, I think the Jets are going to stink. I got them at 3-14. A disaster season. Quarterbacks are garbage. Coaching staff's not any good. They're not going to, in my opinion, they're not going to be a good football team. And they're one of the worst organizations in football. And they've got such a great fan base in New York, but they just can't get it. Dolphins, I have 7-10. Too many injuries, too much inconsistency. McDaniel will be gone after the season. Tua possibly be done. The thing about McDaniel is I like him. I think he's a funny coach. I think he's kind of quirky, but I also think he'll be good. I think he'll get another NFL job. He'll get another chance. He's one of these coaches that I think is fairly good. However, he doesn't have the quarterback right. If you can get the quarterback right, that's half of the battle. I have the Patriots at 8-9. I think the defense keeps them competitive, but not enough. I think Drake May is incredible. Mike Vrabel is now – he's my – Clay, I don't know if you – do you remember I used to love Bill Parcells?
Mm-hmm.
Mike Vrabel is my Bill Parcells now. He's probably one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. I just think he's a good coach. And I got the Bills at 13-4. I have them have the best record. They're going to have the number 1 seed. And Josh Allen will finally put it all together. This season, they'll be the number 1 seed. The road will go through Buffalo. Let's just put it that way for the Super Bowl. All right, let's go. Let's just switch over to the NFC. Then we'll go back to go ahead. Let's go to the AFC. We'll just keep it there. AFC playoff path, how things are going to go. Who do you have playing who?
Do you just want to start with wild card, or you want me to do the whole thing?
Yeah, just go with wild card.
All right.
Then Clay will go to wild card, and I'll go to wild card. Go ahead.
All right, I've got the Bengals they're a wild card team, so they're going to be at Houston. I think they beat Houston Texans. The Broncos are also a wild card team. They will be at Buffalo. I believe Buffalo wins that game. And then the Patriots sneak their way into the wild card as the 7th seed, but they lose to the Chiefs.
So we doing this 3 wild card teams and who they're playing?
Yeah.
So the number 1 wild card, just to make sure I'm saying this right, plays the 4th division winner.
Like 5 will play 4, 6 will play 3, 7 will play 2.
Yeah.
All right, so I have it exactly what Kellen did. Bengals playing the Texans in that. As Texans winning their division, Bengals being the top wild card team. And then the other 2 wild cards, I have the Chargers and the Broncos playing each other.
Who do you have winning those games?
I have the Bengals winning and the Broncos winning.
Is there another game?
Well, that's just the first round.
Well, there's 3 games.
3. 5 will play 4, 6 plays 3, 7 plays 2.
I'm way off then. Come back to me.
All right. Well, I've got the Bengals and Texans going at each other in Houston, but I have the Bengals winning. Broncos making it to the playoffs, but unfortunately they have to go to the Chiefs. Broncos are a year away. Sean Payton's got that team. The trajectory of this team is, I don't know if I even said that word right, but is going to be great, but not this year. Bo Nix is still going to be a solid quarterback, really good quarterback, I think, in the NFL for years to come, but not this year. Chiefs are on their way down, and the Broncos are on their way up. And I think the Chargers will go to Baltimore Ravens. I love the Chargers so much, but they can't beat the Ravens, not in the playoffs. And it's brother against brother. That'll be interesting. And then, Clay, do you have it? Yep.
Okay, so sorry guys, I thought that we were just picking the winners, or like who was going to win the divisions. I didn't know we were doing this by. Okay, so let me start over. So I go 2 versus. Y'all just tell me the numbers and I'll tell you who I got.
2 versus 7.
Okay, so I got Bills versus the Broncos playing, and the Bills winning.
Yeah.
3 versus 6.
I got the Chiefs versus the Chargers with the Chiefs winning.
4
and 5.
And then that's the Texans and the Bengals playing, with the Bengals winning.
Did you say Texans?
Texans, yeah.
Okay.
Versus the Bengals, yeah.
So we all picked that. That's hilarious.
All right, then go to the divisional now. Who do you got playing each other? Who's going to win, dog?
All right, I have the number 5 Bengals at number 1 Baltimore Ravens, and I think after the dominant season that the Ravens have, they lose to the Bengals here, and just kind of that bye week kind of kills them, and the Bengals are hot, and the Bengals win this game. And it's hard for me to do, but I just have to do it because I can't do otherwise. The Bills are finally going to beat Kansas City in the playoffs. I just can't pick Kansas City to win, even though I know they're the safe choice. I just can't do it. I got to do something different than the norm, and I think finally Josh Allen beats Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
So I got the same 4, but I have the Ravens beating the Bengals, and I do have the Bills beating the Chiefs.
I've got the Chiefs against the Ravens. Got the Ravens winning. Lamar Jackson's going to beat the Chiefs. I've got the Bengals at the Bills, and I've got the Bills winning. So it's going to set up a championship game for me for the Ravens at the Bills. Who do you got?
So mine would be Bengals at Bills, and I have the Bills winning this, finally getting back to the Super Bowl.
The Bills are finally going to get to the Super Bowl.
I hope. I love me some Josh Allen. I love Joe Burrow, too, so I'd be happy with either one of those, but I'd love to see Josh Allen get there.
I've got the Ravens and the Bills in the final, or in the AFC Championship, and I just really think that it's finally Lamar Jackson's year. I think they've got just more surrounding him than Josh Allen does. I think Josh Allen's a better quarterback, but I just think there's more, especially on the defensive side with the Ravens. Running back is obviously way better for the Ravens than at the Bills, but so that's why I'm going to go with the Ravens in the Super Bowl on the AFC side.
I have the exact same thing. I have Lamar finally winning. I want Josh to win it, but I think the Ravens are a better overall team. I think that Josh Allen is probably the best player on the field, but I think the Ravens have probably, and I'm just throwing this out there, I haven't, they out of the next 2 out of 20 players out on the field, they probably have the next best 15 players. I don't know. I don't know if that's accurate, but I like the coaching matchup better. I like Harbaugh's coaching matchup better than I do Sean McDermott. So I finally have Mr. Lamar Jackson going to the Super Bowl. All right, let's go now to the NFC side. We're going to go to the NFC West. Kellen, take it away.
All righty. I have the Cardinals at 8-9 at the bottom of their division. I'd like to just say I got this whole division just being very mid. So I have the Cardinals at 8-9 going 2-4 in the division. 49ers 8-9 going 3-3 in the division. I have the Rams and the Seahawks both at 9-8. But the Rams went 2-4 and the Seahawks went 5-1 in the division. So the Seahawks edge them out to win that division of the division of the mid.
All right. I have the almost exact same thing because I was looking at that when you said that. I go, oh my, mine's about the same. I got the Seahawks at 6-11, Cardinals at 7-10. I got the Rams at 9-7, and I got the 49ers at 11-6 winning that division.
Well, I've got the Seahawks at 9-8. Which is probably maybe a little high, but that's how I've came up with it. I think they're just not solid enough. But it all depends. If Darnold can play well, then they've got a good chance. Because I think this team's going to be a lot better defensively this coming up season. Cardinals, I have 9-8 as well. They're competitive, but they fall short in the playoffs. I have the Rams 11-6. If Stafford can stay healthy, they may even be better than that. I feel like he's going to miss a couple of games. And I also have the 49ers at 11-6, but they're going to be 4-2 in the division. The reason why I have the 49ers 11-6 is they have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. Let me kind of go over a few of them real quick. They go to at New Orleans, and then they'll play Arizona. They'll play Jacksonville. They play Atlanta. They play the Giants. They play Carolina, Cleveland, Tennessee, Indianapolis, and Chicago. But Chicago may not be as bad, but they've just got an easy schedule. And that's the reason why I picked them to be 11-6, and they're going to win that division. Let's go to the South, the NFC South.
All right, I have the Saints at 3-14 as the worst team in football. I just don't think they're going to be any good at all. I have the Panthers at 6-11, and the Falcons at 8-9, and the Buccaneers winning it at 11-6. And I know that seems kind of crazy, but I have them going 6-0 in the division. They're in a very easy division, so I think that's at least on here. I have 6 wins, but I think that's at least 5 free wins, and they win some other games that they're supposed to win. So I think they go 11-6 this year.
All righty. So I agree with Kellen on the Saints being the worst team. I've got them at 2-15 though. I've got the Panthers at 6-11, a little bit of improvement. I do see them making some good strides this year, but getting to play the Saints twice, that's going to be a couple of wins for them. But I do like the direction that the Panthers took at the end of last year, so I see some improvement with them. Falcons coming in at 7-10, and I got the Bucs winning that division with a 10-7 record.
All right, I've got Saints 2-15, worst team in the NFL. Rough season. They're going to be. Would this not be crazy if Arch Manning does come out and he's the real deal and he goes to where his grandpa played, got drafted? But they're garbage. Spencer Rattler's going to be their quarterback starting out. They're just not very good. Sorry. Panthers 5-12. I think they're still rebuilding. I know Bryce Young played better towards the end of the year, but I'm still just not sold, and I think it's just not going to be a great thing. Falcons, I have at 8-9, just too inconsistent. I think Penix, if he can have a good year, obviously they have a better shot of winning maybe 9-10 games. Kirk Cousins is going to be on the sidelines. I think we'll see Cousins play, maybe start a couple 2 or 3 games this season. We'll see. And I have the Buccaneers at 11-6, 5-1 in the division. Baker just keeps balling. They're going to win win the championship. They're going to win the division. And here's something I thought about. I heard somebody mention one day recently. We talk about how Dave Canales got the head coaching job with the Carolina Panthers and Liam Cohn is at Jacksonville. Maybe it's Baker that got them promoted or to a head coaching job. Not they made Baker better. Because the thing about Baker Mayfield is he's got that chip on his shoulder and he keeps playing. You put some players around him, he's going to win you some games. He may lose a game or 2 here and there, kind of like Brett Favre used to. But I love Baker Mayfield, and that's probably, to be honest with you, who I'm really rooting for the most this NFL season since my Dallas Cowboys are garbage. Ooh, I guess I gave a little sneak peek on what my thoughts are. All right, let's go to the NFC North.
Alrighty, I have the Vikings at 5-12. Just don't see them being that great. I think they essentially have a rookie quarterback over there, so we're just going to see how that goes. I have Chicago Bears going 7-10. I don't think it helps that they have to play the Packers and the Lions twice, so that's not going to help their record anyway. And I have the Lions going 12-5. As well as the Packers going 12-5, but the Lions go 4-2 in the division. Packers 5-1, so I got the Packers winning that division. And will say, I don't know about you, Clay, but me and Dad both made our rankings before the trade. However, I don't think I'd change the Packers much if I did. I think 12-5 is a pretty good record for them.
All righty, man, we were really close. I got the Bears going 6-11. Much better team this year, but in the hardest division in football. So I see they're getting a lot better offensively, a lot of improvement, but I just don't know if they can get a whole lot of wins in that division. I do have the Vikings going 10-7 though. I think they're still pretty good. I think J.J. McCarthy is better quarterback than Sam Darnold, and he was going to be the starter up until he got hurt last year. So they got Justin Jefferson, they got T.J. Hawkinson. Aaron Jones. They still got a pretty good offense. So I have them. And then I've got the Lions and Packers as well as Kellen, both going 12-5. I did have the Lions winning it. I know everybody's concerned about the coordinators, which is a thing, but also I think the Lions got everybody back on defense that got hurt last year. I mean, I think they lost 5 starters on defense last year, namely Aiden Hutchinson. So they're all back. So I think that helps. However, I did put the Packers winning the division because of the Micah Parsons trade today.
Wow. Okay. Well, I've got the Vikings at 6-11, going 2-4 in the division. They're sliding downward. I love Kevin O'Connell. They just don't have a quarterback right now. Will McCarthy be good at some point? Maybe, but that's a big if currently. I think they wish they probably still had Sam Darnold. Not sure. Maybe not. Or if they would have tried to make a trade or get Aaron Rodgers, but it didn't seem like they were into that. I think they wanted to move forward. But their backup quarterback, Carson Wentz. So let me explain something to you, folks. You better hope that McCarthy stays healthy. I got the Bears at 9-8. To be honest with you, it could be 7 or 8 wins, but I'm just going to have 9-8. I think they're solid. Their defense is a little suspect. If Caleb Williams can buy into his head coach's philosophies and his vision, Ben Johnson, then I think it's good. I just don't know. I don't even know if they get along. I've heard some different stories, whether or not any of that's true, but I heard the same kind of stories back 30 years ago with Aikman and, well, heck, I remember Aikman and Jimmy Johnson didn't get along for a while, but Aikman and Switzer. But I also have, moving on, I've got the Packers at 11-6. Jordan Love, I think he looks legit. Can he stay healthy? He's already got a bum finger. One of his fingers on his, I don't think it's a throwing hand, though. Micah Parsons is going to make him better on defense, but he's going to miss 2 or 3 games at least, if not more. Unfortunately, a lot of times I've seen in the past, Clay, I don't know if you remember this stuff, but players that sit out all training camp, then maybe during the season they get hurt because they're not in condition as well. So they're going to have to.
He's been taking naps and eating nachos.
Oh yeah, what a clown, right? And the Lions 11-6, also 4-2, but they're a physical team. They're built for January. My concern is, like everybody else, is losing the coordinators, but if they can keep that momentum going, and like to your point, they were hurt last year on defense. If they can stay healthy on defense this year, they got Aiden Hutchinson back. This team's got a good shot, and I love their running backs. I love the St. Brown on the receiver, and if the quarterback Jared Goff can keep doing what he's doing and just try not to make a whole lot of mistakes, I still think they're going to win the division. On to what used to be my favorite division in football. I don't know why I had us go this last, but it's probably because I'm a Cowboys fan, even though I got a Packers jersey on. Take it away.
All right, I have the Giants going 5-12, 0-6 in the division. I just don't think they're good. Russell Wilson, if he's starting, he'll win a few games, so 5-12 is decent for them, but still not good at all. Part of me wishes maybe I would have changed this one, but I did not. I have the Cowboys going 10-7.
Wow.
I think I think Dak's a good regular season quarterback. CeeDee Lamb is one of the best in football. I kind of regret it now, but that's just what I got them looking like. And then I have Washington going 12-5. I have them going 6-0 in the division. I think they just dominate the division, but Philadelphia goes 13-4 all around, and they will be the number 1 seed on the NFC side.
All righty. So I have the Giants going 4-13. It does kind of saying with what Kellen is. It just seems like every year they're rebuilding with something. I mean, I think Jackson Dart will end up starting there, and they'll be going through a whole new coaching change. And just, I do like Tyrone Tracy coming back. I think he's a solid running back. Malik Neighbors is good. So they got a few pieces there, but I mean, this division's not bad. It's not, not the best division, but it's pretty good teams. I have the Cowboys going 8-9, just because I think the offense is going to be pretty good. Hopefully Javonte Williams can kind of get resurgence and be a pretty good running back for the Cowboys. If they can't get the running game going with all the Tylers up front blocking, could be a really long season, because obviously you take away Micah Parsons, the defense is going to struggle some. And I have the Eagles and the Commanders both going 11-6, and I'm going to keep up with the theme that, I don't know, Todd, how long has it been since the team repeated the NFC East division champ? It's something like 10, 12 years. It's been a long time. So because of that, I'm going to pick the Commanders to outlast the Eagles in the division and win the division.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to look that up. When is the last time the NFC East on back-to-back? Let's see here. It says 2004 is the last time it happened.
Wow,
right.
A lot longer than I thought.
Yeah. All right, I've got the Giants 4-13, another bad year. I like Brian Daboll a lot. Guess what he's missing? He's missing a quarterback. Guess what he got? He got him a quarterback. Guess what he may not have time to do is win with that quarterback. Russ Wilson's going to be the quarterback at the beginning, maybe Jameis at some point. I don't know. I think Jackson Dart starts maybe by week 6, perhaps, because you got to get him out there. But the only reason why I think it won't happen is because Brian Daboll's coaching for his job. It's unfortunate. You got to have a quarterback in this league. Cowboys 6-11, disappointing season, missing the postseason, garbage. Yeah, they've got a good offense. Defense is a little bit suspect, and then they lose Micah Parsons. Dak, he's not going to put in 17 games, and who's your backup? Milton? Joe Milton? I mean, come on, man. This team is going to be disarray. They're going to be garbage, and it is what it is. I'm a Cowboys fan. Sorry, guys. I have the Commanders at 10-7. They're going to sneak into the playoffs. They're going to take a little bit of a step back this year, but they may be even a better team, but take a little bit of step back because I think teams are going to start being a little bit more, taking a little bit more seriously. I'm not saying they never did. They got a little bit more tape on Jaden Daniels. I think he's still going to be a solid quarterback. I just don't think they're going to be as good record-wise as last year. And I have the Eagles 12-5, top seed in the NFC. Heck, I don't even know if they're going to lose 5 games. If they can stay healthy, this team is going to continue to roll. Let's go to the wild card. Who do you got?
All right, I got the 7th seed Dallas Cowboys playing the 2nd seed Green Bay Packers. I think Cowboys, man, they're feeling on top of the world. They got here. Dak had a really great regular season, but they lose to the Packers. And then I have the 6th seed Washington Commanders playing the 3rd seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think Baker wins this one, and I think it's a great low-scoring game, but I think the Buccaneers win. And then I have the 5th seed Detroit Lions playing the unfortunate 4th seed Seattle Seahawks, a team that doesn't really deserve to be 4th seed, but they're in a terrible division. But Detroit wins that game by a landslide.
All right, so it's 2 versus 7. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go.
Is he there? You're starting to mess up.
Am I still here?
Screen. Yeah, you're there.
How did I have this? Sorry. Come back to me.
Well,
go ahead and do yours, Todd.
Kellen, yeah, can you hear me? Okay, yeah. But in the meantime, I'll tell this little story while Clay's putting this together. If the Dallas Cowboys go to the playoffs this year, Kellen, I will sing on this podcast, Rhinestone Cowboy. I will sing that
whole
from
song.
Glenn Campbell. My mom, you don't know, you may not know it, but my mom used to put me in front of her friends in 1975 with my little Beatles haircut, my little tough skin jeans or whatever we had, and the jean jackets and all that kind of good stuff. And I would sing Rhinestone Cowboy like I was Glenn Campbell, and I didn't realize. And they're all smiling and excited and thinking it's great. And I look back on it now, probably look like a little bit of an idiot. But if the Cowboys win, or go to the playoffs, I will sing Rhinestone Cowboy for the whole world to see. Well, at least our 16,200 followers that we have. You got it, Clay? You ready?
I'm ready. Sorry about that.
Go for it.
I missed one when I was putting them together. Okay, so I have the number 2 seed. That is the Washington Commanders playing the number 7 seed, the Los Angeles Rams, with the Commanders winning. I have the number 3 seed, the San Francisco 49ers, playing the number 6 seed, Philadelphia Eagles, with the Eagles winning that one. And I have the number 4 seed, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, playing the number 5 seed, Detroit Lions, with the Lions winning that one.
All right, my wild card. I couldn't even tell you what seeds everybody was. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. Which, to be quite honest with you, luckily we have computers in this house, and I might be able to find it really quick. What I have down. So what are we looking at? The wild card? Is that what we're looking at? My bad. I have the number 7 seed Washington Commanders against the Detroit Lions, number 2 seed. I have Detroit winning that game. I have, 6-3. The Rams 6. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3. I got the Buccaneers winning. And then I have the Green Bay Packers at the 5 seed against the San Francisco 49ers, the 4 seed. And I got the Packers and Micah Parsons and Todd, the owner of the Green Bay Packers. They're going to win that game. Let's go to the divisional round.
Alrighty, I have number 5 Detroit Lions playing the Philadelphia Eagles. I have Eagles winning that game. Then I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing the Green Bay Packers. Unfortunately, it's just not Baker's year yet, and Green Bay wins that game.
All righty. I have the Packers versus the Eagles, and I'm going to have the Eagles taking that one. I think that's an incredible game. I have the Commanders versus the Lions, and the Lions are going to get the redemption this year, and it's going to be the Lions versus the Eagles in the NFC Championship.
All right. What I have is the Buccaneers against the Lions. The Buccaneers are going to shock the world. They're going to make the NFC Championship. And I got the Packers at the Eagles. I think we all know how Todd feels. Jalen Hurts. It's going to be a matchup of 2 former OU quarterbacks in the NFC Championship game.
All right. I have the Green Bay Packers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Packers are going to be rolling this year. Brett Favre won his first Super Bowl, his Super Bowl at 27. Aaron Rodgers won his Super Bowl at 27. And guess who's about to turn 27?
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. Unfortunately, the Philadelphia Eagles are really good, and the Philadelphia Eagles will be back in the Super Bowl this year.
I have the Eagles and the Lions in the NFC Championship, and I'm going to go with the Eagles once again, even though they were the 6th seed going in. But I think that they turn it around. And, that experience, that win, they still got everything going for them that they did this past year. So Lions are awfully good, but I just don't think they just quite have enough to beat the Eagles. So I got Eagles versus the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
Kellen, who do you got winning? What do you got?
Wait, you got to tell us yours.
Well, did I tell you mine? Eagles.
Okay.
Eagles are going to beat the Buccaneers, and it's going to be the same as Clay. It's going to be the Ravens against the Eagles.
Gotcha.
Thing is Clay knew that I had picked the Super Bowl teams the last 3 years, and he hacked into my computer and saw what I picked, and he wanted to pick the same as I did. But go ahead.
I will say, the last 3 years I've picked the Philadelphia Eagles and the Baltimore Ravens, and it just never happened. So if it happens this year, I'm going to be crushed because I finally switched it up and I picked Philadelphia and Buffalo. I think Buffalo has this just Cinderella season. Good old Josh Allen finally beats Patrick Mahomes. He gets to the Super Bowl. But the Eagles, man, they're just so good. And if they're healthy, they're so good. And they're going to win the back-to-back Super Bowls.
I got Ravens and Eagles, and I'm going to go Ravens.
Dadgummit, Clay. It's the exact same thing I got.
See?
I think it's Lamar's time. I think it's his turn. I think Lamar is going to finally win it. I think they're a very good team, but I think Philadelphia's a very good team as well. I think it'll be a really good Super Bowl, to be quite honest with you. But I think the Ravens are just built. I think they're ready. Again, let me tell everybody, it's all about if players stay healthy, then yeah. But if Lamar Jackson gets hurt in week 7, is out for the year, they're not going. As of right now, I think it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens winning the championship, and I've got mine right the last several years. So good luck there, folks. Anything else about this season? Who do you have like as an MVP? Can you think of an MVP? I think it's going to be Lamar.
Yeah, I'd say Lamar or even Jalen Hurts. I could see, Saquon was up there as well, but probably be Lamar's turn because he could have easily won it last year so could have Joe Burrow. I think, Joe Burrow had an incredible season, but usually they just take the best player off the best team. And so, I could see Joe Burrow getting it, but I'm going to go with Lamar.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I probably got to go Lamar too. It's hard to say, but I think he's just so good and so dynamic that it's going to be hard, and especially with it being a toss-up last year, as long as he has a similar year, it's going to be kind of like, all right, we'll give it to you because we didn't give it to you last year.
Right.
That'll push him over the edge of some other players.
All right, so tell me this: who do you hope who would you like realistically hope to see in the Super Bowl this year? Two teams.
I'd love to see the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them and the Bengals. I think that I like watching the Bengals.
Clay.
That's who I'd pick.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Dude, go first next time.
Yeah, you're right. Go ahead. No, you're right. Go ahead. What were you going to say about it, though? I think
I just really like I like watching Burrow play. I like the Bengals offense. Plus, I got Jamar Chase on one of my fantasy teams. But the Buccaneers, just Baker, and I really like the way the Buccaneers are doing their organization and everything about them right now. So, and very well, both of them could make it.
Yeah, I would obviously Buccaneers because I love Baker Mayfield. I'm not going to say Colts because I know there is 0% chance they go unless somehow the Pro Bowl, something happens to all the players flying to the Pro Bowl and all the good players are gone and they just got to throw a team in there because the Colts are going to be garbage. So then I'd say probably Bills because I love Josh Allen, but I would not be mad at the Bengals as well because I also love Joe Burrow.
Yeah, and I'd say the same thing. I think it'd be cool Cincinnati against Tampa Bay. I'd like to see Buffalo get there as well. A dark horse? Who's a dark horse that could make it? Like maybe the Commanders. Is that a dark horse, I guess? Because realistically, there's probably only like 8 teams realistically that may be able to even sniff the Super Bowl if possible. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't even know if this would be a dark horse, but mine would be the Packers. Just I have this weird feeling going, and I had this feeling before the trade. I just had a feeling that they're going to be pretty good for some reason.
Yeah, that's a pretty good dark horse. I mean, I definitely think the Buccaneers are a dark horse because nobody's picking them to make it. I could see maybe on the other side a true dark horse, maybe Texans or Broncos, but I just don't know if either one of them are good enough to make it. I just don't have enough because the AFC is so stacked. I mean, they got 4 teams that are just going to fight each other to the death on that one. But, I mean, it's hard to say the Chiefs is a dark horse just because nobody's really picking them. But once again, it's like, why are we picking against the team? Gosh, until somebody beats them, let's go.
All right. That's our entry to my next final question that I have for you. We're going to do a little all-time sports legends across different sports, and you only get to keep 4, and you got to cut 4. All right? All-time sports legends.
And this is across all sports.
Across all sports. Lionel Messi. I don't know. Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi. I got to keep him just because of how good he is.
Babe Ruth.
Cutting that one. I don't know why.
Muhammad Ali.
Keep.
Tiger Woods.
I'm going to cut.
I got to cut too. I love the dude, but I can't go up 3 on the keeps.
Yeah. That's where I'm at.
Wayne Gretzky.
Cut just because I don't watch hockey.
Serena Williams.
Cut.
So what do you guys have left?
2 keeps.
So
I
Tom
got
Brady.
2 keeps as well.
You guys have to keep Tom Brady. And you're going to keep Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Okay.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
I would have that to pick.
Yeah.
You would have what?
I wouldn't change a thing, honestly. No disrespect to the cuts. They're all legends.
Wow. They're legends in their own sport, but they don't make the Mount Rushmore. All right, well, the Foxx Den Sports Podcast would like to thank all of our listeners. There's several of you, 16,200 and plus. I was trying to count them all. They're all looking up at me, the crowd. Hey, yeah.
He's like, oh.
Hey, how are you? Want to appreciate you guys. Please subscribe, comments. Man, it's football season. Oklahoma State's playing tonight. Oklahoma Sooners are playing Saturday. We're getting so many more comments now that football season's here. I love it. Let's get some NFL conversation going as well, please. But let me tell you something with our picks. If we're right, ESPN owes us jobs. If we're wrong, let's pretend the episode never happened, folks. Until next time, goodbye, everybody. Boomer.
Sooner.
Thank you for listening to the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. Be sure to subscribe for free to our YouTube channel, Foxx Den Sports. And also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Foxx Den Sports and on Facebook at Foxx Den Sports Podcast. You can also email us at foxdensports@yahoo.com. This has been Foxx Den Sports.